All right, apparently I think we're live now. So hey everybody, thanks for joining us. Another episode. I think this is episode 7, Ryan, of Creator Talk now we got?
Yeah, I think that's about right. We've been doing this for
yeah. This is a bit of a different one. We decided that we just wanted to give thanks to everybody that's come on as past guests, and we're looking for future guests. That's the goal. But with everything that's happened in the last few days, we thought we'd slightly change it and want to hear back from everybody and maybe even have some group discussions. I'm going to post down the link in the comments in just a few minutes here. It'd be great to get everybody else's viewpoints on what's going on in the world right now, which is coronavirus and the market crashing as it has in the last few days, but especially today. So what do you think, Ryan? How do we start this?
Yeah. I mean, first we'll just talk the market. Well, as we just went live, so let people come in. I'm also going to share those to my community tab. But yeah, the market, for those people who are watching this on replay, I mean, today's a very historic day. Rick was talking behind the screen, just saying like this is like the 1987 stock crash and
Black Monday.
Black Monday, and this whole week. And I personally underestimated how bad the coronavirus is going to play out in the market. But I still think we're in a longer trend bull market, and looking at past bear markets, I think that we're looking at about probably, up to a 14-month bear market to break out of this. I still believe we're in a longer trend bull. And for some, we also needed kind of a pullback in terms, but I think this is, we're talking here. I've been deploying capital, but today for the first time, like I just know it's going to get worse before it gets better. So is it wiser to build up more cash until we see right now where Rick's at? They're not sending kids to school. They're quarantined. We're seeing this in real life.
So, yeah, let me expand on that. So everybody that's here, and I think it just happened in Ontario or province. I'm not quite sure if this is Canada wide, but all the the whole public school system, I think around mid-afternoon, like 3:30 this afternoon, it was announced that we have our March break next Monday on the 16th of March. So that was going to be close time anyways, from the 16th to the 20th of March. But now they've extended it. They've extended March break right till it goes to February, March. It goes to April 5th. So the next 3 weeks starting on Monday, that's it. They're closed. The public schools are closed.
Yeah, and I'm trying to study it further. I was giving myself anxiety last night. I was watching just everything I could about what is the coronavirus. I was watching people who have had it, the symptoms of it. There was a scientist that was on Joe Rogan's show, just trying to learn everything about it. So I kind of want to ask for everyone in the comments section: do people feel like this is more like because everyone compares this to the flu, like it's something like the flu, like a bad flu. Is it like a bad flu, or do we really need a pandemic to be concerned with this? Because like it's crazy to me. Like the NBA just canceled their season, and I remember as a kid watching
everything else too,
because someone got the coronavirus, the type of flu. And I remember as a kid watching Michael Jordan win the NBA Finals with the flu. So it's like they canceled the whole season. I've never seen anything like this. Now I'm in the hygiene business. I sell sanitizers, cleaners. We are crazy busy and trying. The supply chain is all screwed up. We can't get product there fast enough, and it's really this is insane times, and the market is in free fall and doesn't seem to have. I mean, I think the next support level, people are saying like the SPY will hit around 230. I know some investors that are waiting for that level to hop in. But let us know in the comment section how low are we going? How fast should we be deploying capital in the market? As it feels like the thousands of dollars I've been putting in, I'm throwing them in, and we're going right down.
Yeah. Like where's the bottom going to be on this one?
We were finding some support last week, and this week it seems like the president's address yesterday really didn't seem to. I mean, it did not rally the markets. I think it actually concerned the markets more than anything. So Dave said something about they're doing something everywhere. Are they closing schools everywhere, or is that?
So guys, this is what Ryan and I discussed quickly just behind, just a backstage just now. I'm going to post right now the link, the StreamYard link in the comments right now. So if anybody wants to join us, and add in a conversation. Like right now we're talking about the markets, the crash today, and then we're also talking about the coronavirus, and we're also I mean, the original intention of this was to build up our community and try and find other creators, YouTube creators that we can have on future shows, but it's taken a bit of a turn here. So but we want to hear from everybody, so I'm going to post it down here below. Feel free, click on it. I'll see you backstage. I'll pull you in if you want to jump in on the discussion. Okay, guys? So we've got a lot to talk about tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I see Jamie here. I see K9s Over Coffee. I see Wyatt.
Yeah, hey, guys. Hey, Barbara. How's it going? Everybody else is joining us. This is fantastic. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, so Rick, if this is our 6th show, we've done 6 previously. I believe the goal was to get 4 on each show. I think we've pretty much done. I think 1 show we missed someone.
Yeah.
So we've been able to highlight 20 some odd creators, and we want to continue the spider web and get more people out and really highlight great channels, because as we talked about in previous videos, that it's extremely difficult to grow on YouTube, and it seems to me that networking is the best way. When the algorithm's not helping you, networking and finding other ways to push your videos and what you're doing is very important.
Absolutely.
Why is saying no toilet paper?
So yeah, let's talk about this toilet paper. How much toilet paper if you're going to consume? If you're going to be, but basically, you're out for 14 days. How much toilet paper do you need in 14 days? That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
I have pallets full of it. If anyone really needs toilet paper, I have pallets in my warehouse.
I saw on Facebook last night, I don't know, but coronavirus found in toilet paper.
That's too funny.
So I don't know how real that was, but still, I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah. Hopefully get some people away.
But yeah, it's been so crazy lately. I cannot believe this. It's been nuts. So. But
yeah, so the question is, if we're going to talk stocks, like where are, where are the safe havens? Where should you deploy capital now? Where are the investments? Gold has kind of rallied throughout this, but that didn't shine today. Crypto fell off.
Crypto down big time.
That was one of my. I did buy more this morning.
Did you really?
Yeah, I bought more Ethereum. I finally got to 32 Ethereum, which has been a goal of mine since I started, so I'm happy with that. I think really longer term, I don't think you guys can really say I'm going to deploy money. Oh, it just went lower.
Yeah, that's your Bitcoin right there.
Wow, last I saw it was
sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but man, holy mackerel.
When did that happen?
Probably, I think just not that long, like a matter of looks like about a few hours ago, not even. Yeah, wow. It's crazy. Like everything's going down, but we're talking negative right now. Let's just get it all out there and discuss like what's been going on with the closures, with the coronavirus. The markets are dropping. We're losing toilet paper by the roll. But I mean, there's a silver lining on all this, guys, and there's tons of opportunities here. Lots of opportunities. So Dave's trying to skank in here, which is great. Where is he? His device.
Dave. Yeah, let's get Dave on.
Oh, he's in, he's out.
I got to talk to Dave. Dave actually bought crypto for the first time today too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Good for him. So we're gonna do shout outs later on tonight, guys, of all our past guests. If you want to be a future guest, make a comment here that live right now, or put a comment if you're watching this later on. Make a comment in the comment section below and just say that you're interested. That'd be great. And who's this guy?
Dave, you're
come on, buddy. So
Dave owns Tesla and crypto now.
Just woke up. I got a Ryan Giffen today.
Did you?
I have not got a Ryan Giffen since I've started my new.
Dude, I always make an appointment, online. Like I put myself in the queue. Nobody there. 0 people waiting.
Well, it's
nice.
I was actually watching a video by Market Scraper, and he was saying something about like how touching your face is like bad with the coronavirus, and like at that time, if you watch like 2 of my videos ago, like my beard was like really thick, and I was listening to the video on the way to the office, and I was like, like I'm kind of a hypochondriac. I just kind of am. I'm like, oh no, like because this beard is too long. I touched my face too much with it. I stopped at a gas station, picked up a razor and shaving cream, like shaved my face at the office.
Really?
Nice.
That's excessive.
I was like, oh no. And I've had no time to go to the barber. I've been literally working like crazy amounts of hours. So Dave, I mean, you've been an investor for a very long time. Two questions. Is this unprecedented? And what is were you shocked by today? And what's your strategy moving forward?
This reminds me of 2008, but at the same time, I didn't have a lot of money in the market back then. So these losses are new to me. I lost a ton of money today.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, it's like, it kind of sucks you in. Maybe I'm the black cloud here, but it kind of sucks you in before we have the issue. And then once you have the issue, it's like you don't really know that it's really bad until it's already too late. You know what I mean? Like, do you want to take your losses now? I'm not. You know what I mean? But
that's a good point. Has anybody else taken their losses? Make a comment inside and let us know.
A ton of people have. Yeah.
Really?
I mean, so it's just like, it's bad luck for me too, because I was playing around with options, making a decent amount of income doing that. I'm like, just this 1 week, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Screw me. Sorry about that.
Hey,
you know what? Screw it. I was like, yeah, this is real. This is live. I was like, screw it. Let me just go ahead and do one on Facebook, Microsoft, and Apple. And I did them all at the same time, made a decent amount of income from that. And then that's the very next week, that's when we had a humongous drop it was like a record drop in 1 week. So I was stuck, and now I got to sign those stocks, and I'm down 14 grand just in those 3 stocks alone. So,
wow.
Yeah, don't look at it that way. Long term, hang on to it. Don't do anything.
No, I'm not. I'm just playing the game. I'm just going to sell calls, and probably just have to go further out in time. But I'm stuck in a lot of other stuff too. The dividend portfolio, that's a good example because I'm still buying. I'm still buying almost every day.
Yeah.
And 401k, I keep deploying more money in that, a couple times a week. So I'm still buying. We're down 30% now, right? So first time I bought crypto was today. Didn't buy a lot because there's just not a lot in that account, and it takes a week to get money into that account. Robinhood's really slow. So
yeah. Did they give you some instant deposit money to play with now?
I think I've already used that. So.
Yeah. I use that very fast. But I tell you, just in the last hour or so, Bitcoin is down under 5,000, and I've been calling
that. It was crazy.
I've been calling this retest back to a market cap of 125 billion. So I think this is it. So I think, and it's crazy. I follow a guy named Mark DeMessel, and when I follow him and listen to him, I usually make a lot of money. And a couple months ago, he was saying to get into cash. He got into cash. He got into he doesn't have a job. He just moves his money around, and he invests in really 2 things: crypto and Tesla. And he's traded around them perfectly.
Has he been waiting? That's the question. Does he have a bunch of money waiting on the side, waiting for that 4,000 or that 5,000? Many people cannot wait for years. I remember going all the cash in 2015, if I remember correctly, went in almost all cash. And I'm like, you know what? And then once Trump got elected, the market shot up. I'm like, just missing out, So then I got back in the market. Imagine about those 5 years I would have missed out on if I just stayed out,
Yeah.
No, you're 100% right. No, he went there. He says never to be in cash, but he was only 10% in cash and 90% vested. And then he went at the coronavirus 6 weeks ago. He went to 75% cash, 25% vested, saying, I don't know how this guy.
When would you? Because it really didn't get serious until yesterday. Really, you know what I mean?
I know. I didn't take it seriously. I was like, Mark. I commented on his videos like, I usually agree with you, but this is I did not predict how insanely. I didn't think we were going into bear market territory, but I can't just believe. I mean, the hysteria of the market and the media canceling professional sports, canceling everything.
Let's talk about that for a sec. So what is still active? I don't think anything. Even all the major leagues, right?
Hair cutting places are.
I mean, so
I'm selling sanitizer like crazy.
To me, it's like business as usual. I'm still going to go to Whole Foods tomorrow. I'm still going to get, hopefully they have bacon there, but hopefully everything there that I want's there, and they're open. I mean, they should be open, but I don't see anything being different. I mean, coronavirus, it's just a super flu. To me, this is like more of an overreaction, and we're pretty much screwed at this point. We're going to deal with this for a year. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I'm not even talking about the coronavirus itself. We're going to deal with the ramifications of this for several months, maybe even up to 18 months. You know what I mean?
Dave, you're in Denver. What are you seeing there right now? Like, what's happening? Are stores depleted, do you think, or what?
I don't go to regular stores. Like, I go to Whole Foods. I'll let you know tomorrow. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I mean, TP is like the last thing I think about. I don't care.
You wouldn't believe. Seriously, I had a friend of mine phone me this afternoon. She's like, I'm at Costco. I was just at Walmart, and they're both out of toilet paper. There's nothing. She's like, that's my last
toilet paper. I have 3 rolls left. That'll probably last me 6 weeks,
Yeah, you're a single guy. You don't have a family.
What are these people eating?
You have young boys
so,
like fling.
But one thing I think we really have to consider is that the lack of economic activity is going to make companies suffer. So it's which ones that are going to suffer more, which ones are going to that are not strong, that have weaker balance sheets, that already have debt issues. Like there's companies going to go out of business.
Yeah. And that's where the government needs to step in. And I'm not a huge fan of the government, but the government needs to nip this in the butt fast. And they need to provide some sort of assistance to keep all these companies afloat while they're, I don't know how they're going to do that, but that's something that needs to be done. Otherwise, it's just a domino effect.
Definitely. So, guys, hold on one quick sec. Sorry, Ryan. Just to let everybody know what I've just highlighted here quickly right now, that's the link. If you want to join in on this conversation, originally, Ryan and I were going to talk about our past guests tonight and future guests, but obviously with everything that's going on, if you want to join the discussion with coronavirus and the markets and anything else, maybe we'll touch base on YouTube, who knows, click that link, go backstage, I'll bring you in. That'd be great. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to jump this out of it, but it's in the link at 9:14 p.m. Okay, so sorry guys, carry on.
So in a way, I actually think this could end up being worse than 2008 because it's affects more than just what 2008 affected, like the financial crisis. You know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of a stark difference between the two, but at the same time, I think that this has the potential to be worse. You know what I mean?
Possibly.
Really. Well, have you guys heard what's going on in Italy? Like that, to me, that's been like horrifying hearing the stories out of Italy, where they're the hospitals. They don't have, like, I guess what people are explaining is the medical system is a lot more fragile than what people think. It's not ready to have an extra tens of thousands of people going to hospitals. They don't have all the proper equipment, respiratory, and they literally they're just deciding like which people are more worthy of keeping alive because there's not enough supply, and that whole country's quarantined. And I got it like that really like brings like this whole thing like brings me to like this new realization with it that it's that powerful. But hopefully this what I am perceiving to be like this huge overly move here to shut everything down will be what nips us in the butt. Like I'm not sure what's going to do it. Like I'm not a medical doctor, but how do you what eventually stops the virus? Viruses don't last forever. Like they run their course or
summertime, it'll go away on its own. But can we make it to that? Can we make it that far without a ton of damage? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. That's the big challenge, right?
That's the challenge. Yeah.
So. But this is it's such interesting times. It really is. Like we've never seen this before. We probably won't ever. I mean, the opportunities in the markets that are lying ahead for us right now is through the roof. Now we're gonna have to slightly change the way of living. Maybe I'm not quite sure. I mean, I've got a flight booked April 4th to Mexico.
Well, maybe I'll have the whole row to yourself. You can just lay down.
I'm loving this legroom. I'm loving the legroom. Seriously, I'm stretching out, having a great time.
I had a friend that texted me today. Flights back and forth to Colorado were $50. He goes, "You want to go to Colorado for lunch?"
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding.
Let me know when you come up. When you show up, I'll come pick you up at the airport.
Yeah. No kidding. So this is one of the reasons that I've heard why they're trying to slow all this down is because the hospitals, right? They can't handle,
right,
obviously. And it's kind of like what we had with the SARS. It was slowed down and whatnot, and people that got it, either died, unfortunately, or just got better, and then it's just gone, and that's it. So we can slow it down so that the hospitals can handle all this. Definitely brighter skies ahead. But
I even ask, what can the hospitals even do? You know what I mean? What are they doing? They're just sitting there and monitor. Well, yeah.
I guess doing all the testing at this point. I don't know if anybody else knows, please jump in on the chat, join us, or just make a comment, at the side. I don't know exactly what, the health sector is exactly.
What's the youngest person that's died? I mean, they've said it didn't affect kids but the flu does, but at the same time, they really said it really wasn't kids that were being affected.
Well, actually, there was an infant less than one this afternoon was diagnosed with it. Less than 1 year. Yeah.
Not dead though, huh?
No.
Kids don't seem to be manifesting it. It doesn't seem that. From if you watch, Rogan had some viral scientific guy that said it doesn't seem to be affecting children that way, which I find to be fascinating. But yeah, maybe this whole halt in the economy. So it's just where can investors go? When I am buying stocks or buying anything, I'm buying more crypto now, but I'm trying to buy like really just blue chips or companies that have been around, that have weathered storms before. And I think tech shouldn't really be that affected, right? I mean, people are going to be home. Like, I think, what do you think? Are you
going to be affected in one way or another? Let me look at Microsoft dropped to like 135 or something, I think, after hours, or 132 or something like that. It's just like everything's affected, really. I mean, a lot of this is fear, but.
Yeah, a lot of it's fear. Hey, we have Gen X. Gen X, you want to join us?
No, actually, I wanted to. I mean, Gen X has seen some bear markets invested through the .com bubble. Gen X, what are your thoughts on this? I know you just uploaded a video. I wonder if it addresses this, but I mean, you typically say to stay the course, but are you finding it more attractive to deploy capital now, or any specific areas look better to you?
Once again, feel free to join us. Just put a paper bag on your head if you want, and just please. No. So here's something. You guys should check out cruise prices right now, $200 a person. I think that would be the last thing I would do for fear of being quarantined on a cruise ship for a few weeks. Right? I would not take that risk just for a cheaper price.
I think that's the only scary part about the thing at this point, is just being stuck on the darn thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely stuck on it, right? It's out of your control. What do you do? So Ryan, you're close. You got a lot of cruise ships in your area, right?
Yeah. Part of the reason that cruise ships they looked attractive, like you had financial education. I want to put $100,000 into Carnival. That has not worked out well for him, but the part of the reason that they looked like decent on balance sheets and PE ratios is because they were so badly affected by the Bahama tragedy, and they still hadn't quite came back from that, but the balance sheets were still okay. And then this happened, and one thing with his channel, I'm curious, like he hit me up on Instagram to follow his Discord chat. And like how do you own more of Carnival? Like you can own Carnival, it's fine, but not of J&J or a quality, I just don't I'm trying to look at my portfolio right now and just say how can I now take this opportunity to buy the best companies at better prices to really build a strong portfolio with great companies. That's the way I'm.
You nibbled on airlines, right?
I took a little nibble at Delta, and that's down. I bought around 40.
Took it on the shoulder. You took it on the chin this morning.
I do. I have over $10,000 wiped clean out of my account. It's been, but this is the game we play. And if you want to be in, I still have dollars to the side, and I still have. I don't know if it's going to happen for us, Dave, but I still have precious metals I would love to see do well in this climate. But
they got slaughtered today.
Yeah.
There is no place. The only place you could have hid today was cash. That's it.
Mattress. Cash. Yep, the mattress. That's it.
Because I dumped a big chunk in ICSH just yesterday, and then that took a big dump today, 1.2%. I was like, I just put it in there too, and it's been stable. All of a sudden, there's a big spike down on it today. I was like, great. That's because I got into it.
Gen X says everything's looking good.
Hey, everybody! If everybody that's on the stream right now can hit the like button, that'd be great. And if you could share this out as well, that'd be great as well. Maybe we can grab some more community members over the next little while. So greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah. So Dave, would you agree that things are going to get worse before they get better?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Futures are already down.
We haven't seen anything yet as far as like how this is even going to affect businesses. So
yeah,
I think April, that's probably another month from now we got earnings, right? And it's like, I think that maybe, I think they could hide some of it, but I think a lot of companies might just use it as an excuse too. Like boom, boom, cut, cut, cut. We did this, we did that. You know what I mean? Like we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the market's pricing it in now, or it's going to react even worse too. It's probably
the market is maybe right now, but I'm talking about like individual companies. They start saying, "Hey, we're going to cut guidance and we're going to do this." Like I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure that.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, it was a nice 10-year bull run, wasn't it?
This definitely throws a wrench in early retirement, that's for sure.
This will separate a lot of us right now. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen over the next little while. That's for sure.
Like I always said, I wish that we had have another recession before I retire. But it's like I got 2 flips I'm going on down there in Florida, and I'm stuck in those right now from other issues. And it's just I'm like, I wish I had that cash right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and, the reason cash is performing so well because eventually investors are going to say things are a little bit better. I have cash. I want to put it back in the market. But right now, the immediate concern is protect my businesses. Have food, have toilet paper, whatever basic necessities you need before speculating into something else. So I think that's going to be immediate. So I've been putting in money, but like I kind of want to slow it down, get a further accumulation, and watch how things are by the end of next week. I might slow down, even though crypto I might nibble a little bit. I can't believe that Ethereum's down $100. That's insane.
I would we're down 30% now. I mean, I think 50% is possible. Yesterday you would have said that to me. I would have been no way. You know what I mean? But now, okay, 50%, no problem. It's possible, but
yeah,
you think we can go beyond if you can't. I think at 50%, I would be almost all out of cash at that point. Like I'm already down to maybe 30% or something of the cash that I did have left. So I think that I have, room to put more in, but beyond 50%, like if you have it holding cash, what are you holding it for? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Gen X mentioned that the surprise gold isn't doing even better. I think it's 2 things. One, people want immediate cash, and I think that in 2008, gold did not have a great year either. It wasn't until 2011 that it really peaked.
2011 was the peak in silver, yeah.
So it wasn't an immediate reaction, and actually, cash always seems to be the best investment initially, and people go right to cash. They dump whatever because they need it. They're panicking. So, but I don't think this is going to be a prolonged issue like that was in my opinion. Like I think we're in a broader 20-year bull trend. I think this is going to be about a 14-month till we can kind of come out of it and maybe touch the previous high again. That's just what I think.
Well, there's some people calling for 3,400 by the end of the year, 32 to 3,400. So
yeah.
I mean, unless it gets nipped in the butt ASAP, you know what I mean? Like in the next few weeks. But the thing is, it's going to take a while to play it out. And they're testing more. So the more they're testing, the more cases they're going to find. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's much higher than whatever they're saying. Like,
I think you guys were a little late getting the testing really going. Right. So I think there's going to be a lot more cases coming out pretty soon. So it's going to spread some more fear and panic, unfortunately. Right. So. All right, down the rabbit hole. Are you sure you don't want to join us? I'd love to have you on board here talking to us about this. You're making some really good comments. So just here, I'm going to post the link one more time, and feel free.
I bet you every public bathroom has no toilet paper left.
Yeah, no kidding. Anybody else wants to join?
It's like going to steal copper out of somebody's house.
Markets.
Yes.
YouTube. And the coronavirus, just click that link and we'll bring you in. So yeah, this toilet paper is just crazy. It's so funny to watch. I mean, everything you see on social media, people are scrapping over a roll of toilet paper right now.
Who would have thought that toilet paper would be the thing to buy? Like that's the thing you should stockpile so you can go out and price gouge people.
The manufacturer of toilet paper that probably started this Oh, you need toilet paper. If anything, forget the food, forget the water. Just get the toilet paper.
Have you thrown? Have you sold your mask yet?
No matter. I probably have I have quite a few of them too.
It's got 2 rolls left. Oh, jeez.
Better off just going to Home Depot and buy one of those toilet seat extension things that has a little squirter on it.
Nice. Lucky you with a bottle of wine.
Yeah, my dad's asking about what's your thought on the Federal Reserve dumping over $500 billion into the repo market.
Maybe I thought it was 1.5 trillion actually.
What did they dump in the market today? I heard there was an injection that shot up the market for a second and then went straight back down.
Yeah, it shot it way up. Almost. There were several stocks that actually went flat for the day. I thought it was 1.5 trillion that they injected, but
yeah, I think I think definitely during a wrong or right thing, whatever. Like, what's the government going to do? Are they going to cut? I mean, cutting payroll taxes would be amazing. That would be. But I doubt. Was there any more conversation on that today? I was so busy with work today, I didn't really follow all the headlines.
I think that one. So they did that back in. I don't know how long it lasted, but they did it last time as well in 2008. I don't know when it started exactly, but they did a payroll cut then. I don't know. I think that the Democrats are going to play a little bit of chess here, despite, they're basically going to use us and businesses and all that, probably, in my opinion, just to try to make it look worse and this and that. You know what I mean? That's just what I think. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a conspiracy political, which we're not going to go into all the conspiracy and politics of it all, but there's this feeling that, this for the election season, this could be an opportunity for the other side to capitalize on, So.
Right.
But that's the unfortunate thing about politics. It may not be about doing whatever the right thing is. It's more about winning, right?
It's just so convenient, right? 2008 election year. We have, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so.
Yep. Weird coincidence, eh? Weird coincidence. So what are you guys seeing that's been going on in your towns the last few days in relation to as a rippling effect from the coronavirus? Anything strange? What's the strangest thing you've seen?
Dave, you watched The Office? Have you ever watched The Office?
I have seen some episodes, yeah.
Okay, there's an episode where there's a watermark on their paper, and it's like an inappropriate thing of an animal doing to another animal, and it gets out to all their customers, and they just have every customer's calling them, blowing up this, that. It was in the school's yearbook, it was in this, it was in that, it was released in all this paper, and like everyone's calling. That was my office today. Everyone was calling, Ryan, do you have hand sanitizer? Do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have that? I have major failures. And as soon as I see another call coming in, I know the conversation I'm going to have. And
it kind of makes sense that people that run those type of businesses want to have that stuff provided for their customers. But like, I don't need sanitizer. I don't need toilet paper. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something I'm going to go out and like buy. I mean, we saw this little somebody posted an Instagram photo in the Discord today, and it's like the whole cart, there's no food in it at all it is TP.
Yep.
And if you run out of TP, now there's paper towels as a backup, and there's water. That was it.
invest invest in that.
Like, without food, you don't even need the TP.
So I'm really concerned about, like, my customer base is restaurants, restaurants, people that operate restaurants. They need people to come out and eat. And so I'm fearing that, like, they could even get shut down for a time. Like restaurants may have to close for a week or so. So we're kind of hoping that we can help our customers get the proper sanitizing that they need in time, and that offsets like the lost weeks in business that we could have. We rely on that's tens of thousands of dollars to make payroll, to pay vendors, to pay rent. Like it's really. It really could get to that scary of a point, and we just have to be ready for it. And plus, I have this new startup that this is not the climate you want to bring your startup into. Even though business is moving, people are still talking, people are still opening their business. Like, I don't see current customers are scared that it's slowing things down, but like I think people are kind of freaking out, but I think they know it's going to be okay.
So I wonder what
it's the initial,
what the word on the street is. You know what I mean? Like we watch this stuff every day. We watch the markets every day. But the people that don't look at the markets every day, don't even invest. Like, what's the sentiment with them? Is it just they hear the coronavirus on the TV, but okay, yeah, it's a little scary, blah blah blah. But once that gets out, like, hey, the market's crashing and people aren't doing business anymore. You know what I mean? Like the sentiment changes, the fear, and it's like nobody wants to spend, and it's like a cascading effect,
Yeah, definitely. Ben, holy mackerel. Sorry, Ben, it's kind of scary here in New York. It went from 1 case to 300 plus cases in like a week.
Yeah, it's just because they're testing more, in my opinion.
It's there. It's there. I remember, like, it's. I wanted someone said something about like we will all end up getting some mutated version of this in our system somehow. Like it's out there. And people are like the world is very a connected organism, and I tell you, I hope it's as short-lived as possible. I hope if you're saying the warm weather brings it,
is what they're forecasting potentially.
Warm weather should kill most of it off, but I mean.
But hey, now
there's going to be so much damage that's already been done. It's just going to take a while to come out of it.
Yeah, the Utah player had it for 7 days before he even was tested. He didn't even know he had it. So you guys can have it right now and not even really know it also, right? So it could just go right through us and move on, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm a hypochondriac, so like I've already thought that I've had it.
Yeah, you stay while you're driving.
I call my wife, and my wife's like, Ryan, you're just stressed.
Ben, how many restaurants have closed in your area? No way, it's happening already in New York. Post it down below, or if you want to jump on the stream, just click on that link and just scroll off for it. But it'd be interesting to see what's going on in New York.
New York City's the hub of it. What was it? I watched some of Financial Education's videos. He was saying something to the effect that he thinks the stock market's going to close down for days, weeks.
They're talking about it. Yeah, like a national holiday. Just shut down everything for 2 weeks, and it's
2 weeks. I don't think that.
Yeah.
I don't think. So what do they do? I mean, when there's too much of a depletion, they stop it for 15 minutes. Right, if it drops too much too fast, then they'll do it.
Well, that's a circuit breaker, a little bit different. They're talking about actually shutting it down, like just nothing. They're talking about a national holiday where you just boom, everybody gets 2 weeks off. Like, who's going to eat that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is unprecedented. I'm trying to figure out how to trade around it, but I think I understand.
I just keep adding to my core positions in my portfolio. I don't really add to energy right now, and I'm not really adding to a lot of the bank stocks. I mean, I still am, but I'm really just care about like the main core stuff in there, the Kimberly-Clark, because that's where you get all the TP from, right? The J&J and Microsoft and all those. But
does anybody know? Sorry, Dave, to cut you off, but before I move past this comment here, do you guys know anything about the patient 31 in South Korea? I do not know about this.
No, I haven't heard that one.
No. So if anybody wants to write it or jump on board and explain it, that'd be great. So, sorry, Dave, carry on.
What was I saying?
Yeah, what was the question again? You're flying. Sorry. Ben, you don't think it's going to happen? Yeah, you're right.
So it's 90 degrees. That's good. That's a very good observation. Like, there's other places in the world where it is already hot. You know what I mean? Do they have less cases? You know what I mean? Is it still spreading a lot, right?
Yeah. This is
the spreading information. It's hard to trust it because we're just not testing. So it's in more places than we think. And then what's he saying about everything else getting canceled? Yeah, they've canceled the boat show in our town, which is a huge economic event, brings in millions of dollars. They've canceled down in Miami. There was supposed to be some big concert series. And in South Florida, this is supposed to be our season. It is warm here, and we are getting cases. I know there was one in Fort Lauderdale. Someone flew in from New York to Palm Beach International that knowingly had the coronavirus this morning. So so we'll see if it's in the Philippines. Right now, that's kind of.
It's definitely in Florida from that guy that Trump supposedly shook his hand. So Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They've been talking about it all nonstop today. So.
Oh, I was so busy with people calling me for sanitizer, I didn't catch the news and just watching my portfolio go down.
do you have enough sanitizer or what? I mean, that's not something like, let me just stock what I need. You wouldn't have overstocked it. You know what I mean?
I have the ability for like tabletop sanitizers. I have a good supply of that. But everyone wants hand sanitizer for your hands. And I sell like stuff that if you go to like a place that has like a wall mounted hand sanitizer dispenser, like we do that for clients. But I have a truck coming in next Tuesday. I'm just creating this list that's already like 40 clients deep. I'm just getting a call like, hey, I need it. People that they would just do hand soap. They wouldn't even do sanitizer. So I got that call like several times today. And it's like, I think hopefully we learn a good lesson about this. Like, let's just be like,
wash your hand.
I think the lesson learned here is like anytime something like a virus pops up next time, it's like maybe you can kind of anticipate where things are going. But Ebola, you know what I mean? Ebola is a good example. Like that one to me was like way more scary. You know what I mean? It's just the problem is the people died after a couple of days, so it just probably didn't spread.
Yeah, that was aggressive. So I think this is in regards down the rabbit hole of travel. I think this is in regards to you're saying the patient 31 that had symptoms but refused to get self-isolated. Wow, went to church, buffet restaurant, shop, a bunch of other places, and then you carry on to say went from 30 cases and then thousands of cases. No way. If that's where it actually stemmed from, she was like the little epicenter. Wow. And Dustin saying guy on JetBlue flight got tested he was positive on the plane. Ouch. We're going to hear so many crazy stories over the next while, guys.
So is it a 14-day process to run through your system? Is that what it is?
Well, it's actually my wife is
figure out whether or not you get sick, I guess. I don't know.
Scientific background. She's been following this really closely, and it could stay there longer. It could be in you before you even get tested, right? So nobody actually really knows yet exactly how long it will stay or how much it will affect you.
Has it changed any of your day-to-day? Like, are you just acting the same? There's no difference, right? You guys?
Brian, you okay, man?
Yeah.
You sure?
Wrong pipe.
You're going to stay in your house for the next 14 days.
Yeah.
About people in the comments.
My day, because I'm in the business of hygiene, it's been very different.
Yeah. Very, very interesting times right now.
So it's been different how you're treating your customers, but as far as like where you go shopping, everything's just business as usual, right?
Well, no, I mean, I was saying earlier.
Well, I mean, not where you go shopping. Maybe you don't want to wait in line to go to Costco, but.
Well, I mean, we had the GO trains. We had the trains that take us into the city for a lot of the commuters, and it was pretty quiet today. And so now, as I was saying earlier, it's province-wide that all the public schools are closed for the next 3 weeks. I mean, what are the parents going to be doing? They're not going to be going to school. It's going to hit the economy big time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just getting worse. I mean, NBA, they're talking about pushing the
NHL,
Major League Baseball back a couple of weeks. I mean, tons of other stuff.
Yeah.
Canceled, South by Southwest or whatever it's called. And
wow, no kidding. So there's 2 players on the Jazz that were positive for it, too. Oh, no. That was, what's his name? I can't remember. Yeah, he was just joking around. He touched all their microphones after the game, and he actually had it, but he didn't know about it at the end of time. And he released an apologetic statement afterwards saying he didn't realize he had it.
Mark Cuban's response when he found out.
Sorry?
You saw Mark Cuban's response when he found out they canceled the whole season.
I missed it. What did he say?
Definitely. He just like the strange reaction, like ended up making a meme out of it, or probably.
What was it exactly?
Because when's the last time that's happened? You know what I mean? So I say, what do you mean? You know what I mean? Nonstop today.
Oh, really? Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, from what I understood, his statement was, a very class act of what he had done. But again, I haven't caught it. I haven't listened to it yet.
That's crazy.
Yeah, interesting. Really, really interesting. So, all right, we got Charlie here as well. Charlie should jump on the stream with us.
Curious to hear what everybody else is like in the comments, like
guys
in their areas, because I don't see anything different here. Yeah, like not many people getting haircuts because that's where I went today. Tomorrow I'll go to Whole Foods. I expect there's still going to be people in there. Still going to be people. Shopping, and I don't see anything different in my day-to-day actions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the player was positive. I don't think he knew about it though, from what he was saying. Sorry, guys, jumping around here.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see haircuts. I was thinking about going somewhere and like someone like touching me, like maybe being weird about that. When I do go into stores and stuff, I just feel different. I feel like I'm looking at like who's sick, who's touching their nose, like who looks all like I don't know if that's just the hypochondriac in me or.
I do that when I fly, and that doesn't matter if we have a coronavirus or not. I'm always looking around when I'm flying because it's just I don't know, people are just. I think that's the biggest way germs spread is through flight in airports. You know,
recycled air. Sure, absolutely. Does anybody have any flights booked? I've got one in April 5th to Mexico with the family for 2 weeks. Anybody else in the stream got any flights booked coming up? Or like,
I was going to go to Seattle in next month, but the customers all working remote, so why would I even go?
Yeah.
So, and that's like the hub where everything is at anyway.
Right. You got any plans?
I'm going to Costa Rica in May for a bachelor party. So
we got friends at Taekwondo that are going to Italy this summer to catch a cruise from Italy. So they're just hoping that everything's going to be open up by then. It should be. It really should be. So hang on.
Probably still get deals too.
Jeez. Let's see.
Finances, buying food.
Ben, here. I'll post the link again for you so you don't have to scroll up, okay? Give me a sec. There you go. Anybody else that wants to join, just click on that link. So much searching and discussing. Okay.
Good idea. Cheap insurance, yeah.
So we still got to do shout outs to everybody as well. We can't forget or, we're not forget about them. All right. The man, the myth, the legend. Ben, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, man?
All right.
He's in New York, right?
You guys hear me? Yeah, I'm in New York.
Perfect. How are things there?
How are things there on the street? Like, I mean, subways, doors, all that.
Subways are pretty, it's still like, there's a lot of people, but it's like much less than before. Wait, give me 1 second.
Got it.
How's it going? Hey, how's it going? All right. This is New York, right?
You can turn that down.
Oh, yeah, you got to turn the volume off. You got another.
Yeah. Okay. Is it better?
Semi-peppers.
Thanks, Charlie. Feel free to join us.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, that's good. Lighting's good. The volume's good. So what's going on in New York then?
It's kind of crazy over here now. Everyone is like in a panic right now. There's like a lot of companies are starting to let people work from home, but like I'm hearing that some of the people who work at those like trading companies like Barclay, BlackRock, because one of my cousins works at Barclay, and he's telling me that they have a confirmed case in his company, but they're not letting people work from home. So I'm wondering like what's gonna happen if like the traders in the stock exchange start getting infected. That would be some crazy stuff. As of right now, like people taking the subways, like there's much less than before. It's not shut down or anything, but it's like much less than before. And like we're seeing like a bunch of restaurants starting to close, especially in like the Chinatown areas. It's getting pretty bad over there.
Wow. Really?
I feel like an area like New York City is going to be just like a fester because there's so many people so close.
And they don't have enough tests. So I actually have 2 cousins who are doctors. And today they told them that their hospital can only test 200 people because that's their capacity right now. So they're ramping up testing. But if they're only allowed to test 200 people per hospital, like who knows how many people are getting infected. I actually have like 2 schools in my neighborhood that are just shut down right now. They're doing like a containment zone where there was like a person in Westchester who got it, and he's like a Jewish guy. So he goes to a lot of those like religious meetings, like synagogues, and there's like 100-something people and all in Westchester that have it who are linked to that one guy. So it's spreading really fast just because.
I mean, what's the purpose of getting tested when you can just stay at home and and ride it out. I mean, you're not going to die. Most people aren't going to die from it. So you're young, you're healthy, whatever.
Yeah.
Sit at home, isolate yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you feel crappy, stay inside. Like what do we usually do when we get sick, right?
Exactly.
Right.
You don't go out and, run marathons.
Hospital.
The problem is people don't know they're sick because it can take like 2 weeks to show up. So
nobody's going to get tested until they already feel sick, right?
Yeah.
If you already feel sick, then you're already sick at this point. Like, why would you want to go out and spread it around? And
No. The problem is it can take up to 2 weeks to get symptoms. So within that 2 weeks, you could have met up with like 3-4.
I get that. I'm just saying, like, so you're just going to go get tested for the hell of it?
Yeah, that's what they're doing in other countries. They're just mass testing everyone. Like in Korea, they have like testing stations where it's like kind of like a drive-by, like a drive-through. I mean, you just like drive through and they'll test you as you go through just to make sure that you don't have anything.
I've heard it. Yeah. The drive-through
So
test.
I thought they had to do like a blood test or something. It takes 48 hours or whatever to get the results back.
I think it's like different countries have like developed different ways to test it. Actually, that's why I don't understand. Like this thing has been going on for like 3 months in China, and America is just totally unprepared for this. It's like it would have gotten to America eventually. Were they hoping that it just nobody comes here who has it and starts spreading it? I mean, it's just they're completely unprepared, even though it's been going on for months now in other countries. I don't know.
No,
it's pretty bad in Italy too right now too. They're
it's horrible.
Pretty much shut down. I think it's gonna happen to New York within the next couple weeks. Like it's just people don't know, and they're just spreading it everywhere.
Yeah. So watching on the news today, they were talking about there was a flight that came in from Italy yesterday, and nobody was tested on it. All they were basically was that once they went through customs, there was people saying they were giving them flyers, little pamphlets that they should go and get tested and whatnot, but nothing. So that was brought up in discussion in the House of Parliament today. So I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but being Canadian, our Prime Minister, his wife flew back yesterday from England and was not feeling so well. So they put themselves, both of them are now in self-isolation.
Like Tom Hanks and his wife?
Yeah, that's our Prime Minister, Tom Hanks. Sorry, Sir Justin Trudeau. Come on. No, yeah. Well, Tom Hanks went through the same. He's going through the same thing, right? So, but yeah, it's really, really interesting times right now. Really interesting times. So,
well, I guess everyone be safe and try to, I guess, limit. Like, what is the best thing to do right now? Try to limit your movements and don't.
Yeah, I'm not changing anything.
Yeah, that's pretty much what people are saying. Just don't go to any public gatherings.
Stay 6 feet away.
Yeah, I mean, I hope this thing really blows over because, I don't know if you guys know, I'm actually getting my wedding's in like 2 months.
Yeah.
So if this like blows up, I'm already the wedding venue has already like called me and was like, we're putting plans in case this thing like blows up and gets out of control. But like countries in like Japan, they like banned funerals, banned weddings, and like made everyone postpone just because they don't want people just meeting up in general. So
I think you could go back to all your vendors and probably get a significant discount.
Yeah. Just hopefully it doesn't get to that point, man. It's that's a pretty scary thing to think about.
Wow. All right, Gen X has got a challenge here for us. Our guesstimates for death in the U.S. within the next 12 months.
That's a good question. How many people have died from the flu in the same amount of time? I get that everybody's going to say, oh, the coronavirus, you're going to more likely to die. There's more cases, blah, blah, blah. But, tons of people die from the flu every single day.
Yep.
Yeah. My grandmother's in a nursing home, and they're the most at risk. I mean, they're pretty much quarantining them. They can't go out. They have to stay in, and they can have people just drop off groceries there. And that's who we really should be trying to focus on in these situations.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if necessarily shutting down like the whole economy, but that's what we're doing. So
yeah, my dad's 91. I called him up today to remind him, don't go dancing this Saturday and Sunday. He goes dancing every Saturday and Sunday. Don't do it. He caught pneumonia a few months ago with some lady that he danced with. I'm like, what are you doing? Don't. So he's like, I love dancing. If that's the way I'm going to go out, and that's the way I'm going to go out. So
12,000 seems awfully low. I've heard it being between 30 to 60,000 per year.
480,000 deaths. That I got it.
Years on normal flu death rate in the U.S. Really, eh? Wow.
So 60,000. Okay, 2017, 2018. So 12,000 is average. Is that what it is, or what?
Favorite way that's going forward.
And Dan, are you talking about 480,000 people just in the U.S., or are you talking about worldwide?
All right, so 60K is considered bad years. Jeez.
I don't think the death rate is really high. I think they said it was somewhere around like 0.6%. And
most places like 3 to 5%.
Huh?
Some, like a lot of the places that I've been looking at, it's like 3 to 5% now. Some of the countries anyway.
Well, I saw an article about Korea where they tested like 100-something thousand people, and their estimate on the death rate is around 0.6%.
So you talk about all the age groups, because I think that obviously when you're 70 or whatever, it's going to go up.
Yeah, definitely. I think under like 50 years old, the survival rate is like 99.7%. I saw that somewhere. So definitely as you get older, the risk gets significantly higher. And if you have like if you have a
pre-existing condition
system, pre-existing condition, like your death rate jumps up to like 10%. It's pretty high. But for like overall, they're saying it's like 0.6%.
So Dan here is basically saying 480K for CV in the next 12 months if we don't do anything. So what do you suggest that we do, Dan? Just curious.
Dan, you want to jump on the stream? Just hit that link.
Dan's he's very concerned.
That's true. I mean, imagine you get infected and then you go visit your parents. Like that's a really scary thing. He's saying younger folks will infect at-risk population, which is really true.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
So what do we do moving forward here? Make sure that we keep up to date and go and see some infectious disease doctors. Don't listen to the internet, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people are chasing for that stock that was going to have the vaccine, but now it seems like the vaccine, no one is expecting anything anytime soon. I mean, we're talking 8 to 12 months. I'm hearing that may be a solution.
So close all borders, all flights in and out of the country, and basically national holiday for 30 days.
Let's all just take a month vacation in our house.
Yeah, you know what?
We can YouTube all the time.
Well, time to edit at last. I'll have time to edit these videos that are stockpiled.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, geez. Yeah, I think that's the only way you can really get rid of it. Right now in China, it's pretty much contained now. Like the number of new infected cases is dropping every single day, and that's pretty much what they did. They pretty much shut down cities, weren't letting people in between cities, and everyone was staying at home. Pretty much everyone would just stay at home, order grocery deliveries. The people who were delivering the groceries would just drop the groceries outside their door, leave, and then the people would come up and receive it. So there's no real like human interaction there, and that's pretty much how they got rid of it. Actually, my mother-in-law owns she runs a kindergarten, and they've been shut down since January. Like kids aren't going to school for months now, and that's really halted like it from spreading a lot. Right now they're starting to let people go to restaurants again over there, and they're opening up like high school, starting from high school, and then they're going to go to middle school and then elementary school. So that's what they did. I think that's probably what's going to need to happen to get rid of it.
Right. I just don't, the amount of, when I hear that, I just hear the amount of economic damage that's done just from no business.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, they just like, actually, you hear a lot of stories that landlords just didn't charge their tenants rent for like 2 months because like people aren't going outside to shop. It's heavy economic damage, but over there, the government pretty much controls everything. So yeah, I'm actually really interested on like how they're going to handle this like economic impact, but it seems the government is taking control and helping.
They're going to be behind the curve, just like they were last time. So, I mean, yeah, I think they can nip it in the butt, or at least help, maybe like another TARP or something. But it's just going to be behind the 8 ball at this point.
Yeah,
interesting, Jen.
Yeah, it's just make sure we're prepared. That this is why there's emergency funds, right?
This is why we have a federal government. Do your job.
We done a video recently on the emergency funds. Any of you guys? Why we should have this? I mean, are most people able to even stop working for a month and let this thing drift off? What do you guys think?
A month? I don't know. That's a long time.
I haven't taken off more than 5 days in 10 years. I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
And that's why I came on produce. That's more vacation time. I found the same trap, Ryan.
Yeah.
Years before I had a vacation. But still, love doing what you're doing. Jeez, right? You do it for the love.
Yeah, I think that we're going to get a pretty big spike up once this gets a handle of it. I mean, I could see like a 13-15% gain in one day. It's just, we don't know when that's going to be, but I could see that happening.
It's like what Ben said, when the amount of cases become less that are being reported, but these numbers are going to tenfold because everyone's going to start getting tested and they're going to uncover it. They're going to be like, wow, this is so much worse, and people are going to be dying. And I mean, this
definitely going to get worse before it gets better. Yeah. And we haven't seen anything as far as economic, effects yet at all.
Yeah. Except I think the market is pricing it in, what's going to happen, I hope, or we'll figure it out. So what is Charlie saying? I read it was possibly engineered, and China was testing it on animals, bats, and others that was sold on their animal market, which led to consumption to the general public.
So that was your orange chicken?
You imagine.
That's a bad joke, but it's always been questionable what that chicken is when I eat it. So
it would be cool to have Dan pop on.
Back in a second.
It would be cool if Dan would pop on because it seems like he has a lot of research in this.
Yeah, he's a very knowledgeable guy.
Yeah, I know he's very active.
Nuts.
What do you guys think will happen with that? What was it, like 1.5 trillion that they're injecting into the economy? Like, how do you think that's going to impact things?
I mean, usually these stimulus packages. I mean, it felt like it didn't. I mean, maybe it's helping, but I felt like during the last, there was QE, and the markets were kind of flat. But eventually we came out of it. I think, I mean, whatever we can do to bridge us to when we get back to normalcy. I would love to see the payroll tax cut. I think that would help every individual house that, hopefully people don't start getting laid off. When people start getting laid off, then we can start.
That's where it's going to be a domino effect. They really need to keep these companies afloat so they don't have to lay off. Because once that starts happening, it's a domino effect from there. So,
and then you have people not paying their mortgages, and you have the banks and the financial system. That's where it gets scary. 1.5 trillion.
Like this event really made me think about like my investments, like where do I want to keep my money? Like, I have a lot of real estate notes, right? I'm thinking, those people could just like, well, they can't make their payment, so they're not going to, and the investors aren't going to make a payment to me. It's like, do I want to have better control over my money in the future where I can either liquidate it, or I can do whatever I want without have to rely on anybody else? It really made me think about that.
Yeah.
I don't care if anybody else doesn't, but
yeah, where your money, there's no safe haven. Cash seems to be the place to be for the short term here. And Dustin, he's been following a lot of these Fed moves. They were buying up the repo market before. He made a good video about it. He said the Fed move was to front run a liquidity issue. Treasury bid-ask spreads were getting wide.
Right. I did hear about that today.
Wow. So, I mean, not much from Trump's speech last night really seemed to like, I mean, it had no positive effect on the market, really. It was just saying like they were going to cover your co-pays if you have the coronavirus for your insurance companies. They were going to, we weren't going to Europe, so economic activity would be slowed down. Then they floated the some kind of small business loan, which I think would be
payroll tax cut.
Those two things would be helpful, giving some liquidity to small businesses and payroll tax cut.
And they cut the payroll tax, back in the 10 years ago. I'm just curious, the basically the argument is it's not going to help people that aren't working. I'm like, well, don't those people have food stamps and whatever else, right? I mean, the people aren't. You got to do something. So just because it doesn't help everybody because they're not working, it's going to help a large amount of people, though.
Right now, unemployment's by the whatever metric they use, 9%. So that's a lot of people that would have extra disposable income.
Yeah, because most people have a W-2 job. Most people are working, right? I mean, with their argument, I could just say, well, why do we have Obamacare, right? It doesn't help everybody. So.
Right. Yeah. So very interesting times, guys. And thanks for hopping on. You guys have been on the show before, but tonight we're actually going to move it to every 2 weeks. I've been busy. Maybe now that with the coronavirus, I won't be too busy and I'll have more time.
So maybe we'll make it every week at that point.
Yeah. Maybe it could change again, but for the short, with this new business I've started and my new child and everything, it's every week is a little bit tougher. So we're gonna go to every 2 weeks. We just want to keep on getting a platform, people that are coming in the community, and being able to highlight those people. And I think this is cool though too, just jumping on a whole forum of people that are just trying to figure out like what to do in the world right now. It's because this is, like I said, it's unprecedented. Who do we have here?
Hey guys,
how's it going?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
So yeah, very, very interesting conversation you're having regarding the COVID-19 and then the associated effects. I mean, if anybody has questions or wants to get my thoughts on any of this, it's easier to talk than type, especially with two kids.
Great. Glad that you could join us. Thanks. That's the idea, right? So feel free. You got the podium. Go ahead.
So the long and short of it is this originated in China, obviously, with cases first appearing in late December. Obviously, that was kept a bit quiet as they tried to deal with this, because there's been other cases in the past, like the SARS a few years ago that was of the same origination in China. And SARS is also of the coronavirus family.
Right.
Generally speaking, coronavirus is zoonotic, which means it's animal to animal transmission. It's not generally animal to human, but in this case, this particular virus is an animal to human transmission. And you can kind of compare that to something like avian influenza. Everybody hears about that. Like if you got that, the death rate's very high, but the communicability is very low. And there's outbreaks within poultry farms and stuff every year of avian influenza. And obviously they just cull the chickens or whatever, but then it pops up every year because those type of strains are also migrated to wild bird populations that then cause the year by year infections. In regard to this, it's a little bit different animal. They measure virus communicability by something called R0. R0 for like, say like your general seasonal flu is somewhere between like 0.1 maybe to 0.2. And what that means is for every person infected with the flu, they get 0.1% or 0.1 or 0.2 people sick. In this case, right now, from what I'm seeing, the COVID-19 is around 3. It could be a little bit higher, which means for every person that gets it, they generally infect 3 people.
How can they prove
the other
that?
part,
I guess that's my question.
a lot of this is coming from like China, as they've like been collecting these data sets along with Japan and South Korea. The other thing too is these societies there have taken more draconian steps than what the U.S. has done. I feel like right now we're in the conditioning phase of the populace. So in other words, they're making these closures, like you're seeing like sports leagues and other things close, and it's more incremental. And this is like, I think, moving to convey the condition the population for the more drastic measures, which would be either like widespread quarantine or some sort of regional quarantine. I mean, you're starting to see that now, like the New Rochelle area in New York, they had like a 1 kilometer quarantine set up around that. I would have argued that they should have already done that in the Pacific Northwest. I question what they're thinking, to be honest with you, because this is kind of like I mean, obviously it affects older populations much harsher than the younger folks. But if you want to stop and mitigate the vector, you have to take these steps and actions, because people are asymptomatic for up to 14 days. They don't, or people see like very little symptoms. It could be as little as like a little bit of like chest congestion, feel like a little bit of a cold. Unbeknownst to them, they have COVID-19 and they're just spreading it all over.
Wow. What's your background? You know so much about this. Amazing. Thanks. I mean, what's your background?
A lot. I'd rather not say what kind of work I do, but okay. I think Dave has a good idea. But yeah, and I do a lot of reading. I read a lot of medical journals and stuff.
Well, thanks for letting me. That's great information. Thank you. Dude.
So, do you think that? How do you really see this playing out? Do you see us getting a control of this and it going away and getting back to normalcy? If you were to, what would you say is likely to occur?
In the near term, it's all dependent on what measures we take to mitigate the spread. Right now, I would categorize what we're doing still as like slow playing. I know Dave and probably Ryan would say, like, I've been saying certain things in our Discord for nearly 2 months, and that's what should have happened previously. So like widespread quarantine, not like manufacturing fear, but educating the populace, because the vast majority of folks, believe it or not, in the United States still don't really understand the situation. They'll get the knee-jerk reaction type news from mainstream media. But I mean, it all depends on response. If we respond adequately, it could be done in like, I don't know, 6 to 18 weeks. We don't do anything, or we kind of continue down this path, it's going to last a lot longer, because you have to think about like the infection rate on like in terms of like a histogram. We're like on the left side getting ready to go exponential, because we haven't gone exponential yet from an infection standpoint. Whereas someplace like South Korea is much higher on that histogram. They're almost over to the point of the hump where you'll see like a decrease in infection. China is at that point of a decrease in infection. So they're on the right-hand side of the histogram going back down. Mm-hmm. We're very early in that. I think if we would have took preventative measures, like I said, a month or two ago, it would have been far easier to deal with. We don't have a widespread ban of people coming to the country. Yes, we just yesterday had the announcement that we're not accepting European flights, but that doesn't mean somebody from Europe can't fly somewhere else and then fly into the U.S. So, I mean, if they want to deal with it seriously, they have to, in the short term, cut off like border, cut off the borders both from an air and from a ground standpoint, and maritime as well.
Crazy. So. And if we don't do this, is this a year? What's the ramifications? I
mean, I think you're talking at least 6 months, probably 4 to 6 months. And then we also don't know like how the warmer weather, as things warm up from a summer perspective, obviously communicability decreases because the air is humid. And when things are humid, some of the associated spread would be decreased, but we're not quite sure what that would be. Right. It's not good. And I mean, like people are like, well, it's just the flu. No, it's not the flu. It's about umpteen times more communicable. It's more deadly, albeit disproportionately affecting older populations, but the flu does the same thing.
It does.
So, I mean, like, think about it. The U.S. has how many people? 380 million?
Yeah.
Right?
30.
If let's say 50% of the people get infected, that's a lot of people. And then if you take, even like 1 to 3% of those people dying, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And when you put it in those terms, then people realize, I mean, like, think about it. If it's a 3% death rate, you could think about being in your office with 100 of your colleagues. Like, look around, like 3 of those people are going to be dead when this is over. I mean, that puts it in human terms.
It's insane.
Those people that are, 70, 80 years old, they're probably not working still. They're not in the office.
Yep. But but you also have people with underlying health conditions that are in there. And like, at least from my perspective, I still work with a lot of folks that I'd say are in their, late 50s, early 60s, which are a little bit more vulnerable than say like your millennial population.
Yeah. I've got one of my managers. He's only 31 years old, and his immune system is extremely low. I think he had his spleen removed a few years ago. And he's just really he's got to be really, really careful. So luckily he works remotely. I'm not allowing him to go out and see any clients, nothing. He has to stay put until it's all passed. But yeah.
So what it sounds like you're talking about, Rad, is take extreme measures for 30 days, nip it in the butt, and then deal with the ramifications of the economic impact. Or do what we're doing now, which means basically just let it drag out for 6 months to a year, and then still deal with the ramifications of economic impact.
Yep, I think the economic recovery would be far quicker if we took drastic action, mitigated the threat, and then moved forward.
30 days or less, right?
And the thing is, from a market perspective, if you do these drastic actions, I feel like the market is going to see those, and if it feels that those are adequate, it's in turn going to provide a little bit of calm to the market. Where I think right now, the market, the way it's reacting, is basically saying this is not working, and then you throw the oil thing on top of that, where Russia. Saudi Arabia is basically trying to strong arm Russia into submission, because Russia would not agree to a higher price per barrel in regard to the recent OPEC meetings. So you have the COVID-19, and then you have like this essentially the oil war, because believe it or not, Russia, 70% of their exports are oil and natural gas. So their economy is largely dependent on that. And Saudi Arabia has the free cash flow and knows that. So they're basically twisting Russia's arm until they capitulate.
So we got 1.5 basically black swan events.
Yep.
So, you know, I feel like, do you think right now we're taking the measures, at least getting started? Like, I don't remember, I grew up a huge sports fan as a child. I don't remember seasons being stopped for anything like that. I remember 9/11, like they pushed back the World Series because something like that happened. But like, I don't remember every league shutting down and like talking about playing in empty stadiums. Like, this is, to me, at least a good start, would you say? Or are we, you think we're on the right path?
This is kind of funny because I would say those actions aren't really to protect the populace; they're to protect the elite athlete.
Oh.
If you think about it, because first it was professional sports, and now they've finally moved to the college realm and canceled the NCAA tournament.
All of them, yeah.
But what you see is like you're starting to see localized school districts close, and I would say like their closures are they're not very intelligently, because what I'm seeing now is like, oh, we're going to shut things down for 2 weeks. Let me tell you what 2 weeks is going to do. 2 weeks is just going to see a rise in cases and not do too much. So what you're going to see happen is they're going to revisit that in a 2 week period, and they're going to be like, either kick it another 2 to 4 weeks or say school's over. At this point, for all intents and purposes, if people were finishing school in May or June, their school year's over. I mean, again, this goes to my point of conditioning the populace. You're doing the smaller things right now to set the table, because like people will notice these things. Oh, the sports leagues are shutting down. My school is shutting down for a couple weeks. It's desensitizing them to the point where they'll be more accepting of some sort of regional or widespread quarantine. I mean, that's just my opinion.
I don't like that they're shutting down schools after they have a confirmed case, because like before they've gotten tested, they could have infected their entire class. So
agreed.
They're really like acting after it already happened, instead of just like doing something to stop the spread.
Yeah, a very reactionary response, because more than likely those school-age children are not going to be affected from a health standpoint by this virus. But generally speaking, some of us on here have kids. They're super spreaders, so they're going to act as like mega vectors of this. I would. I mean, if I was in, what was that?
Did they take it home?
Yep. Then they give it to their parents and give it to their grandparents, and then you get into the negative aspects of the effects on elderly or immunocompromised individuals.
So maybe that's what the markets are doing right now. Maybe they're pricing in that there's going to be this shortage of time without work, that they need cash for a quarantine time. Maybe so there's nowhere. Cash seems the only place to go right now that you're not losing your shirt at.
Yep.
Strong possibility.
A lot of it's panic. A lot of these panic right now.
Yep. Yeah. People. A lot of people are panic selling. So I mean, eventually this thing's going to rebound, but the question is when.
Yeah. You stay without selling.
Yep. And I would argue. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I'm with you, Dan. Let's tackle this tomorrow. Let's. I mean, so would you just say tomorrow? Like, do you think like restaurants should all be closed right now? Like people should not go to restaurants?
I wouldn't eat at a restaurant if I was you.
Right. They're still pretty busy.
Yeah, I mean, you could roll the dice with that, but it's going to get of higher and higher likelihood as time goes on that somebody that you're purchasing the food from is going to be infected by this, thereby increasing the chances of you getting infected. I think that the better course of action is just to be a little bit less socially active, stay at home, and just have the populace ride this thing out. Because if you just go on business as usual, or even at 80% business as usual, you're going to have still a massive amount of infection, which then takes longer to mitigate because you have more spreaders.
Wow.
So have you heard about because I'm getting like all different information about how long it can stay on a surface. Like, you know, they're saying like if you're talking to somebody and you, like their saliva gets on you, you can get it. But like, what if their saliva gets on something else, like say your hand, and then you shake hands with somebody and then they touch their face? Like I'm seeing like the New York City government website is saying 2 to 3 minutes. I'm hearing 4 hours somewhere else, and then
now actually
saying 5 days.
Yeah, what have you read?
Yeah, I've read in some journal articles on this, and I think what I would say is it's about 3 days.
3 days. Oh,
yeah, I mean, obviously, if it's it can be affected by like ultraviolet sources. Yeah, it's about the craziest thing I've seen is like a Chinese individual invent this shroud that actually like put a UV radiation like through these bulbs onto you to kill the virus. And then obviously the sun would do some of that, but I think the general consensus for like a hard surface or something like that is about 3 days, which is not good. There's a reason that like the Chinese and the South Koreans are going around like, and Japanese going around with like these disinfectant foggers everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah. If the authorities in New York City are saying like what you said they're saying, that's probably, in my opinion, doing a disservice to the populace and making them feel, or at least maybe they're trying to make them feel more comfortable, but it's not, in the long run, that's not helpful.
Yeah, I think 2 to 3 minutes is what like your official statement. I think it's way too low.
Yeah, I mean, even in casual conversation, you know, it's probably best to be like at least like 6 feet from whomever you're speaking with.
Yeah. Stay away 6 feet distant from everybody, guys.
Gosh, I'm just worried. I deal with so many people every day. Now I'm gonna be much more guarded tomorrow. Work from the office.
Yeah, not a bad idea. It's a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you'll see more and more closures here as we go forward. I mean, like in many cases, it's like the American thing to do, where like I'm not going to be the first one to do this. I'm waiting for somebody else to do it, and then when somebody else does it, it gives them some sort of psychological justification to follow suit. So it's kind of like this domino effect. You'll see like, you know, the NCAA came out and said, we're going to play to closed stadiums. But then the NBA came out and said, we're going to cancel or like suspend the season. And then, you know, MLS, MLB, the NHL, those all followed suit. And then that caused like the NCAA to reassess the situation and then go, we're just not going to do this. So yeah, I think there's a little bit of stigma associated with that, with all of this. But as more people decide to close, it will become a bit easier for others, because then they don't feel like they're making that decision. Somebody else is making a decision. They're just kind of following.
Yeah.
True.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we're an hour and a half in. That's pretty wild. I mean, my eyes are a little bit more open to it. The markets really woke me up to the reality. I think the market's priced in some of the reality today, and hopefully we get a grasp on this soon. But unfortunately, it's going to get worse before it gets better. So got to peel off the Band-Aid.
Yeah, everybody, stay safe out there. You know, just wash your hands, stay away from social events the best that you can. Don't touch your face. You know, be smart about this and get through this, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen those like Costco videos where like people are shooting like the lines at Costco? It's ridiculous. Just shooting.
Looks like Black Friday. I mean, it's crazy.
There's no TVs in the cart. It's all toilet paper.
Yeah, I was telling people to go get what they needed like over a month ago. I mean, like, again, this was very, like, to me, it was a very, very predictable what was going to happen.
I was trying to I went to the supermarket to try to get a bag of rice, and like the whole place was emptied out. he couldn't get any rice. They told the store clerk told me that like a couple minutes ago, someone came and bought 100 bags. What are you gonna do with 100 rice?
You can sell it to other people that need it.
Yeah, they're gonna try and profit off of it. They'll price gouge and try and profit off of this.
That's brutal.
That's ridiculous.
That's brutal. That's not cool whatsoever. But the toilet paper, that's funny. You know, how much toilet paper do you need as well for 14 days?
Yeah, stock up on your Kimberly Clark stock.
Yeah, no kidding. Excuse me for a second.
Procter & Gamble, all those guys.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we will go a bit lower, I think.
Yeah. Futures are down.
So we're at the 2,400 pretty much. So if we drop to that level, it's lights out all the way down till I think
2,000.
2,000 is going to be a likely target, I think, at that point.
Yep.
That's unbelievable. Wow, cash king right now.
Hold strong. Hold strong.
Hold strong. That's right. Don't sell. Don't sell.
So.
Yeah, I mean, like the time to sell was a while ago. It's too late now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So who do you still have here? There's your dad. That's your dad, right?
Yeah, Gen X is saying that he said you called it all.
I was trying to like proselytize the masses a while back, but I think half of the chat probably thought I was crazy. But based on personal experience and just, I mean, good old fashioned logic and kind of how the geopolitics kind of plays into this, you could see that this is almost like a slow motion car crash. I mean, you could see it coming like a ways out.
How come you thought differently on this one versus like Ebola?
And
I'm talking about the very beginning.
Okay. Sorry, my children don't want to go to sleep. Ebola is a different type of animal. That tends to be obviously also contagious, but the death rate and the signs of symptoms is vastly more much more rapid than, say, COVID-19. That's what makes COVID-19 so hard to deal with, because of the fact that folks can be asymptomatic for 2 weeks, could be even more than 2 weeks. But generally speaking, with those hemorrhagic fevers, which is like Ebola is like a hemorrhagic fever, those things people start showing like signs of that very quickly.
And they're dead within 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, 3 to 10 days. They recently had an outbreak of Ebola in Central Africa, like the Democratic Republic of Congo area in like kind of like the northeast corner, but that was largely contained. I think they only had, I don't know, less than 2,000 cases, but the people die very quickly.
Wow.
So,
did any of you guys short the market from this? I saw an article where some guy shorted the market, and what he bought like puts. He went from like 5,000 to 123,000 within like 5 days. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are still making a bunch of money off of this because, like we said, it's going to go quite a bit lower, and if you play your cards right, that's where you can make the money now. And I know some people in the Discord chat are doing so.
Wow. Best place to check the future?
What's that? I'm sorry?
I've seen people also mention that, asking the question, should I sell out now and buy down later? It's like, that's not what I would recommend people do, but people are doing that or trying to do that.
And I'm sure a lot of the people have done that, and that'll be the reason things back to 10, 15%. So hopefully the reversal is stronger by the capital that feels more comfortable to come back in, or the lower prices they were looking for are there now. But yeah, I think you're right.
You're assuming they can time a bottom,
which is very difficult. Every day we get closer, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And I think in this case you're going to see kind of a I don't want to say it's going to be similar, but it's going to be kind of the same with like once this episode like passes, you'll see kind of like the post World War II response where people are going to be eager to like support the country and spend money and things like that. So
yeah,
possibly.
We'll get through this. We'll get through this.
So, all right. So, what do you guys think then? What do you want to do? Start doing? We're an hour and 34 minutes into this. So
pretty long.
I gotta probably get to bed soon.
Yeah, another 5 minutes.
I'll be up early to watch the market.
Yeah.
Exciting times. So but before we
are you in the market now? Are you trading stocks right now? I know you're primarily in real estate.
Actually, I actually just got into stocks last week, right before the crash.
Perfect.
I didn't buy mine. I bought a little bit after the first dip, and then like these past 3 days have like just gone down another like 15%. So it's pretty bad. But I'm actually working on a deal in real estate right now, so. I'm still like negotiating on it. I don't think I'm gonna like just back out of the market completely. I think like because what I'm working on right now, I think is a really good deal. So as long as I can still get a good deal in real estate, I'm not gonna like stop everything just because you can't really time the market. You don't know if it's gonna fall or if it's gonna go up. So for now, like I'm still gonna focus on if I can get a good deal. I'm gonna like hold off for like another couple weeks. See how that happens.
I think there could be some indicators too of when things bottom out. If you're active on social media, I think the time that things bottom out. Sorry about this. I think the time things bottom out is when we finally take drastic action to mitigate this issue. And when that happens, the key is finding out when that happens. And I think, obviously that's going to be done by the president. The president has a lot of close allies in media and alternative media. So if you're savvy enough, I think you could see or find some indicators of like future policy coming out and utilize that policy to kind of jump the shark a little bit.
We'll talk in the chat. In the Discord.
Yeah.
There's probably some people that you could follow that are close to the president that you'd be able to like have a little idea about policy coming before policy happens.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, Ryan, what are you thinking?
Gents, I have to get a good night's sleep. I got another crazy day of getting sanitizer to people tomorrow. So I'll do my best at that.
So on that note, everybody stay safe. Don't touch your face. Wash your hands. Stay 6 feet away from everybody. Safe. Don't touch your face. And but hey, before we go, I guess it'd be nice to say that thanks to everybody that's been a creator, a guest in the last little while. And if anybody's wants to be a future guest, by all means, let us know. Okay, just comment below if you're watching this afterwards, or comment at the side, or even PM either Ryan or I on Instagram. So you got a party going on there. Holy jeez.
Yeah, my kids were laying in bed until I came down here, and then they followed me down. So, and right now my wife is on a business trip. So, I'm trying to get wrestle control of this.
Great. Well, thanks for taking the time for jumping on the stream with us. That was fantastic. Really cool.
Yeah, thank
you. And then Dave, same with you guys. Thanks a lot for joining us. It was a lot of fun. We'll do this again in the future. Who knows? Hey, Ryan, what do you think?
Blood Phantom just joined in. Market going to down.
It always happens. Here as well, or Duncan as well. The grocery store. Good luck.
Alex, I'm with you there, brother. We're ready for the strong bounce back. It's been a
Yeah,
been a fun ride down.
It's gonna happen soon enough.
It feels like we take the stairs. We take the stairs up and the elevator down. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. I think on that note. Whoa. What just happened?
Huh? You kicked Dan out.
Yeah. No, he jumped out. I didn't kick him out whatsoever. It's so quiet now. Holy mackerel. So, but yeah, that was good, guys. It was a lot of fun talking about this tonight. Jeez. I hope we were able to help some people and, let them know if things are going on and everything else. Wow. Yeah. Hey, no worries, Rad. That was great having you on board tonight. Seriously.
It was great to get to. Dan's not a YouTuber, so it's nice to, but he's very active and supportive and very knowledgeable, obviously. So
yeah, no kidding. And Ben, you're with me on the 24th.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hanging out with. That's fantastic. Really looking forward to that one. That'll be great.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
And I got Kenan for next. Kenan Grace on the 17th. So this will be fun, guys. Awesome. All right. Yeah. So let's all try and stay safe, and hopefully we see everybody in the next little while on some other streams and videos.
Yeah.
Hang on. But let's do a plug here. Who's got a video coming out soon? Dave, Ben, you guys got videos coming out soon?
I haven't recorded one yet.
I gotta work on one this weekend too.
Oh yeah? You get to the grocery store.
I've been so busy with the markets.
Yeah, no kidding. It's always something. Always something.
Well, it's been so consuming, trying to figure out how to trade this market. But yeah, I'm gonna work. I'm probably gonna make a stock crash type video. Just things that, just overall everything. I'm talking to a lot of my clients too, a lot of my restaurants, like not only investing for your market, but like how to keep your business going, and a lot of my restaurants, they're like, they're really want to ramp up delivery service and stuff like that to people that don't want to come out. And you have to what worked, last week, the last 2 weeks, that may not be good for the next couple months. So right now I'm trying to order anything that can sanitize anything, because I know all the restaurants are going to be extremely slow, and it just how to weather the storm.
Yeah, absolutely. Just persevere. That's for sure. So, all right, guys. On that note, thank you very much. Thanks for everybody joining us tonight. Hit that like button if you haven't already done it. Appreciate it. That was almost 2 hours, guys.
Yeah.
But again, thanks for joining us, Dave and Ben. That was awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I'm gonna go watch my
having us. Thanks for hosting.
Yeah,
have a good night, guys.
Always fun talking, guys. Have a great night, guys. Thanks.
Later.
Ciao.